Hello, everybody. How are we doing? All right. So, I know maybe you were thinking that somebody else was going to be here, maybe somebody a little bit more charming. They're not. You've got me tonight, Jason Spatafora, also known as the Wolf of Weed Street. Hello. So, we've got one of those nights where we're just going to go over stuff, man. We're just going to have questions. It's basically like one of these nights where we're just going to have some fun. We're just going to actually talk about things that, I think are relevant, get into a couple of the stocks, a couple of the things that are going to move the markets tomorrow. But we're going to give you guys, for the most part, some free reign. All right. Hey, Mitma, Sharon Nam, Jake B. How much more upside does U.S. Steel have? I don't know. Probably a lot. We can get into it, but, first, what we're going to do, as is the format that Adam was so kind to type for me. We're going to do some Q&A for like the first half hour. We're going to get into everything. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jason Spatafora, also known as the Wolf of Weed Street. You can follow me on Twitter if you so choose, which would be great. But first, what I want to do is want everybody to smash that like button just as we get started. All right. So as we get started, we're going to go up. We're going to go through a bunch of different things, and let's get right to it. All right. Bum, bum, bum. All right, guys. So questions. If you were on Twitter, you follow me. Well, right now you can, look, Twitter is actually a pretty useful tool. I use it, when I first got started trading, I was, in getting information and doing like due diligence, I put air quotes around it because there wasn't really much due diligence in it, was kind of a crapshoot. So I was using Twitter to, I discovered ticker tag somehow, or cash tagging, and was using that to put in search. And I found it really useful. So Twitter isn't exactly, I know it's a lot of noise, but when it comes to like seeing what the perception is in the market, especially for certain stocks, it's sometimes useful, like if you're doing like a real deep dive into, what people are saying, I mean, sometimes, I have a friend that he would just put the money symbol in first on Twitter and then see what ticker came up. And then he would be like, I'm either buying calls or puts on this. So, it could work. All right. So, but until then, let's get right into it, shall we? Could you possibly explain how options work? And day trading stocks, but really want to know how options work. I mean, options function, look, they're derivatives, okay? Options work as, think about them as like act as if, okay? I'll boil it down to you in simple terms, okay? It's like, say I've got, I'm trying to put it, I want to make it as simple as possible, all right? It's like I've got a wallet, right? and I might only have $100 in it, and I want to gamble with somebody, and I'm like, you know, how much money is in your wallet? I'm like, I got $10,000 in it. You know, that $100 represents 100 other, you know, $10 bills or whatever it is. An option is basically just it's almost as if you've got the stock in your possession. So if you're buying like one contract of Apple, it's almost as if you've got 100 shares of Apple. 100 shares of Apple right now cost you, I don't know, $11,600, depending on where it was, just for 100 shares. An option kind of allows you to play as if you had that type of money, you know, in calls and puts on a long enough timeline, so long as you meet a strike. All right. They're a really good way to make small accounts big. They're also a way to make small accounts disappear and make large accounts disappear. So they're not something to go at it. You know, you take it slow. And if you are going to trade options, you don't start with Apple, please, for the love of God, and stay away from Tesla. You're welcome. All right. Wallace, you're a lifer now. That's good. How about psychedelics? Do you think they are a good stock investment in the future as well as a fun experience? I cannot condone the use of illicit drugs, especially ones that are deemed Schedule 1. Actually, cannabis is a Schedule 1 drug. So are psychedelics, LSD, peyote. There's definitely peer-reviewed information out there. Actual studies with MDMA, LSD, and the treatments for depression, post-traumatic stress disorder. So there is actually science there. It's not, hey, you know, take a handful of mushrooms, eat them, and then like, oh, I'm not depressed anymore. No, it's, you know, microdosing and, you know, and trying to really understand delivery methods. Now, kind of like cannabis back in 2014, 2013, it was just kind of a crapshoot. All of a sudden, everybody was a cannabis company, right? Oh yeah, we're gonna grow. Like, no, you're not gonna grow weed. You don't have money. You're 000 stock with a billion share float. Like, give me a break. You're gonna start, and we've already seen some companies in the space do that. Now there are a handful that are actually just not trying to sell stock, and you know, actually trying to make a go at it. You know, one is MindMed, which is I think it trades on the Neo exchange. It's cheap; it's like $1. Then there's Compass Pathways, which is on the NASDAQ, and Peter Thiel is one of the big investors in it. And then there's a couple of other companies going public in the next 6 months or next month that, you know, they're looking for delivery methods for for the drug treatment. All right. So yeah, it's viable. Oh, and also Oregon and one other state, I want to say Oregon and Washington, both have it on in this election to decriminalize magic mushrooms. And that's a start. That's how it started with Colorado. All right. Any thoughts on CGC calls? Yeah, we're going to get to it. You know, right now, I think that a lot of stocks are just kind of at the mercy of what's going on in the overall market right now, you know, but we'll get to it. Ooh, what do you think about Boeing going into earnings calls? Look, Boeing's going to be a tough sell. If Boeing only made aircraft, that thing would be, I mean, in serious trouble. Luckily for Boeing, I think like $90 of its like price right now is defense. So look, I think Boeing is a good long-term company. For right now, though, I think it's a good options trade. It's giving you some pretty decent range. The last time we traded it, I think it was 150 calls. So I like it as a trade. It's actually something that was really on my radar today. I'm going to see if maybe it slides a little bit more with the overall market, especially with what's going on with everything with coronavirus and everything. Even though, I mean, I think this thing's already been battered enough, so we'll see. All right. Is Trulieve a long-term hold? Yes. Just make that easy for you. NIO is the Chinese Tesla. That's what people would want you to think. How many cars has NIO delivered? Does anybody know how many vehicles NIO has delivered? Anyone? Bueller? Okay. NIO is not the Tesla of China. Let's dispel that right here and right now. Let's make this really easy, okay? NIO is the NIO of China. Tesla is just Tesla. You know, it's not like I'm like, you know, I'm the Gordon Gekko of YouTube in this hour slot. I can't do that. NIO is a Chinese company, and not to take anything away from them or the technology, but I feel like they don't have the best track record with companies. That's why I'm not, I mean, I just look at like Luckin Coffee. I mean, Alibaba's one thing, but, you know, if we just take all that and just throw it out the window, you know, what we're really talking about here, if we want to do a side-by-side comparison of Tesla to NIO, it's, you can't because Tesla is not a car company. All right. They are a technology company. They are innovators. They are future. Elon Musk is a futurist. Okay. They are creating different, I mean, you know, the product of Tesla right now currently happens to be cars, similar to the way Amazon used to just sell books. Okay. You can't look at Tesla as something that has peers. If it was just a car company, it would have a much lower market cap, just based off of like the deliveries. But no, it's a technology company or a battery company. You could look at it like, I mean, what is NIO doing? I don't know. They're not doing much, but we'll see. There's definitely a trade there. Don't get me wrong. You know, people love a good story, and perception is reality. If people think this is the Tesla of China, they're going to buy up the stock. Would I? No. But, you know, just because I don't like it doesn't mean you can't make money on it. All right. Wolfman, GTBIF in the $16 range past resistance. We did break through, but I can't help but feel GTIF is safer at 10-ish. Do I agree? No, I don't agree. I don't agree with that at all. Trust me, if I could get green thumb at 10, I'd be psyched. Do I think it's going to happen? No, I don't think 10's in the cards for right now. You know, I don't even understand how you would come to a $10 valuation on green thumb. You know, if you're doing a side-by-side comparison with peers. Illinois happens to be one of the states where they've sold, I think Illinois has sold in the last 8 months, $500 million worth of cannabis. or it's either 500 million or 800 million, something silly like that. Every single week, you can check what companies are selling cannabis in your state. In Florida, we have the OMMU, gives you weekly reports, how much cannabis, how much CBD by the gram was sold and by who. It's really, really helpful. Every single week, cannabis numbers go up, they don't go down. So you're talking about growth, not just for Green Thumb, but for a bunch of other MSOs like Cureleaf, Trueleaf, TerraSend, Cresco, and even some of the smaller operators. A $10 stock? No. I mean, I don't think it was a $10 stock when, let me take a look because I'm curious now. Let's see. Yeah. Nah, this thing's not a $10 stock. This thing's not a $10 stock. It could be someday. I just think that right now, with everything that's going on, especially related to cannabis in the United States, and especially with ballot initiatives and some of the potential tailwinds that the industry has, there's no reason for a company like Green Thumb or really any of those top 5 MSOs that I mentioned to go backwards, especially when I guarantee that when they have earnings that should be coming out within the next 30 days, they all beat. If you had 100K and could pick one stock, what would it be? Ooh, any stock? I don't know. That's tough. I'll tell you one thing. It wouldn't be technology. It would most likely be something that got battered. I'm actually doing it right now. So you don't even have to ask me. You don't have to give me 100. If you want to give me 100 grand of your money, I'll take it. We'll put an email address in there for you. But look at it like this. In March, we had the single greatest investment. What is it? We had the single greatest investment opportunity since 2008 and since the little crack in 2018, which wasn't really as good as this, okay? Because we just had, and even this one compared to 2008 was a lot different, but the speed at which we went up was just amazing. So people that understood 2008 and understood 2018 knew, hey, throw your money in tech. You know, Mike and I talked a lot about this from the beginning in March, especially when I came on. He was pounding the table AMD. I was talking Square, you know, and some other ones, right? So as I put a lot of money in tech, now I'm rotating that money out, okay? Why am I rotating that money out? Okay, so this is to answer your $100,000 question, literally. Because if I do a side-by-side, if let's say I take Apple in one hand and I take Boeing, all right, in another. Now, Boeing isn't a really sexy trade, right? Apple, I know what I'm getting, but I also think that Boeing is undervalued if it's in an environment where, you know, things are back to normal, right? So which one of those companies, if I asked you, okay, and I'll ask all of you, which one do you think doubles first? Boeing or Apple? So I'm really curious. I want to see. Because Apple has almost a $2 trillion market cap. Boeing was $400 last year. It also took 35 years for Apple to make that first trillion. So I'm going with Boeing. All right. Now, this is something that I'm doing right now in my own portfolio. It's like, okay, what sectors have been hit? Where are some of these tech companies that I got in that went 100%, that went 70%, that just went absolutely nuts? What can I do with those profits? I can still stay in them. I could sell half of all these positions and get into all these distressed companies. That way I still have skin in the game. This is something that you really need to consider, going forward, because, in the next week, all right, this time next week, all right, we are going to have a better idea of who's going to be controlling the Senate, who's going to be controlling the House, and who's going to be controlling the White House, and what the political map is going to look like. And that's going to have really, really consequential impact on the stock market, individuals that aren't in the stock market, and everything in between. So it's like, have a plan, and look, plans are like condoms, right? Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. All right. So it's always good to just kind of be, to look into the future. All right. All right. My thoughts on CCL, Carnival Cruise Lines. Carnival Cruise Lines, some of the airlines, I look at it like this. All right, ready? Cruise lines. If I had to go a top 5 industries, top 5 distressed industries, I think the cruise line industry would be 4th on my list. Okay. First would be, I'd say, banks, energy, airlines, cruise lines, hotels. Okay. And in that order. So I understand, like, eventually these cruise lines are going to move. Okay. If you are shopping cruise lines now, God bless you. You want to shop the ones that have the best balance sheet first. Okay. The ones that are far away from bankruptcy, and I think what you want to do is nibble in, so tier in. But really, especially if you trade options or other stuff, take profit and roll it into that cruise line you're thinking. All right. Now, again, I would say go 4th on cruise lines. I think that there are better industries to go after. I do it all the time. I use, I'll give you 5 stocks. All right. You guys want 5 stocks that I use to throw profit in? My number 1 right now is Budweiser. Okay. I don't even drink. Makes sense to me. Budweiser is a $105 company, 52-week high. Its 3-year high is like 120. Once restaurants open the capacity, once people start really going to sporting events, people are really back in college and we're not social distancing, we're able to do keg stands again, play flip cup, beer pong. Budweiser's a, $80 to $100 company. All right. So what I've been doing is I've been taking profit from other trades or option trades and throwing it into Budweiser. Sometimes I'll throw it into Exxon. Sometimes I'll throw it into Bank of America. I haven't thrown it into any hotels because I'm just like, But, I'll throw it into things that I don't necessarily want to put my money into. And I think it just makes sense to do it this way. So, all right. Guys in the control room, am I missing any good questions? Please send them to me. Guys, hold on. No, nothing from the control room. Nothing from the control room. Ooh, okay. David Padilla. Wolf, can you explain the importance of strategic entry and options instead of hitting the bid? Can you help explain the best strategy for entry? Look, if you're going to play options, or if you're already at that point where you're playing options, don't market order in. Okay. I do it all the time. You don't need to be like me. I'm an idiot. Okay. I waste money. I don't want you to waste money. But for the most part, I don't do it all the time. But let me give you a couple stories of why you don't market order in. I don't know, a couple months ago, I was playing a Roku option, a very, very high risk Roku option at like 2 o'clock on a Friday. The option was going to expire. Okay. It was going to expire, and I was like, oh, I think this thing will bounce $1, to the strike. I was like, let me buy some calls. All right. I'm just doing something for shits and giggles. So I go to buy 20 calls. They were $1.10. I market order into them. That the ask got pulled, and all of a sudden I got filled at $1.43. I'll never forget. $1.43. I thought I was getting that. I'm immediately $660 in the hole. And I was like, what the hell just happened? All right. And then I ended up having to spend the next hour taking on more risk because, I was just pissed that I did that. Where if I just limit ordered it on the ask, if let's say I wanted to get 110, I was like just impatient. I'm like, let me just get 110. Limit order in. Look, if you're going to, your strategy should be simple. One, you have to do an evaluation of your options trades. Like if you're having trouble right now, evaluate your option trades. Okay. Take note. You'll pretty much know, like, are you going red instantly anytime you get into the option? That usually means you're impatient, or means that you're market ordering in. Like I hate trading options for the most part that are on like nickel intervals. It's like 50 cents by 55. Like there's no in between. Sometimes you get filled in between. I hate those. All right. But if this, let's say it's 50 by 55, and that's just the spread, bid 50. All right. And if you're not sure about getting in, and let's say you're saying, all right, I only want to buy like $500 worth. Well, spend that first 5 contracts at 50 and then see what happens. All right. You've got to be patient with options, and also sell on the ask. I get a lot of like, oh, how did you sell that? How were you able to sell that? How did you top tick it? Easy. I put my sells as soon as I make my buys. Why do I do that? Well, it's going to keep me honest. Okay. I know that I want to sell a portion here and make at least 15 to 20%. So I'll put the sell there, and then every sell after is like, okay, I want to make 10% the next time I take profit, and the next time, and the next time. Those things are already preset. That's the strategy. All right. Ooh, do you think the Fed stops pumping next week if Biden wins and Trump just lets them drop it to make it? The Fed has actually they have not been as aggressive. We knew this was going to happen. I don't think this had anything to do with the election. There's only so much money that they can print. And Powell came out and said, look, we need, like, while we do have a bunch of tools that we can use, there needs to be some stimulus to help the overall economy. And that's just not something that they do. So, also, it's not like if Trump wins or Trump loses, that the government just shuts down, right? These people were appointed. all of them take an oath to fulfill their obligations and their duties. And the mandate of the Federal Reserve is not one that can be, screw it. Like, I'm just not going to do my job. Trust me, Jerome Powell needs the stock market to be as liquid and as high as anybody else. All right. Does UPS see a dip due to profit taking after earnings tomorrow? I don't know. Does it? All right, what do you think? If you look at the I think we were looking at the accumulation line yesterday, and the accumulation is really strong. I think, here's the way that, one, I wouldn't be playing options on UPS or FedEx. I also wouldn't be trading it, honestly. If you look at the charts, they are beautiful. Okay, they're just like 45-degree angle. I gotta remember to do my hand this way, because camera right. So yeah, they're just 45-degree angles up. In the last 6 months. Okay. I can't buy it because I'm like, well, if I wasn't looking at it before, I'm not going to chase it up here. Anything can happen. I do think that those things do have, FedEx and UPS have gas in the tank, especially with like backlogs of things that need to get delivered. And then also we're going into the holiday season, and hopefully I didn't see what consumer confidence numbers were. But a dip, yeah, of course you can see a dip. People might just want to take profit, sell the news, and then rotate to something else. That's always a possibility. I mean, look at Microsoft today, and we're going to get to it. Microsoft had a beat. 2 beats, went down. Last earnings, also beat, went down. The market is going to dictate price. And I've been on the side of like the last earnings thing I played was Rocket Mortgage, and Rocket Mortgage had a huge beat, just absolutely like blew it out of the water, and the thing dropped $10 in a day. So if you seek peace, plan for war. What is stuffing the bid? And why must we never do that? Asking for everybody in US Steel today. Yeah, stuffing the bid on an option is you're basically, it's the same thing as like in a stock, like somebody just takes out the bid, right? You're taking out the bid support, it's going to drop lower. The bid support, listen to the words, bid support, okay? I am supporting this pen, right? I'm supporting this pen. That's what happens when I take the support out. It drops. It's the same thing on an option. There isn't like magical fairies and unicorns holding this option's price up because the stock is going up. It doesn't work like that. So if you have some a-hole or D-bag that's like, oh, I want to take profit, and let's say they've got 100 contracts and this thing's going up, and they're like, and the bid is like 50, and they're like, oh, I'll probably, and let's say for argument's sake, we're at $1. So the bid is $1, the ask is like $1.02. Okay. So they'll hit the bid. There's only somebody willing to buy 50 contracts at $1. All right. And maybe the next guy is like, I'm not chasing this. So maybe the next bid is 95. All right. And then maybe it's 50 contracts or 25 contracts. That would be even better for this a-hole, right? So he hits the bid, he market orders out. Again, that's why you limit order, because it works both ways. So he market out, orders out 100 contracts. As the bid's only 50. He takes out everything at $1. And then the next thing, he sells another 25 at 95 cents. So he shortchanges himself $125 on that 5 cents. And then the next bid could be 90 and another 25 there. Okay. So he basically cost himself $250 just because he was impatient. Whereas he could have sold a little bit. He could have hit the bid a little. Yeah, he hit 10, 20 contracts, you know, and sold some at maybe 101, you know, where he just undercut the ask a little. If he really wanted to just be a dick, he could have just, you know, put his ask at 101. And the trick is when you're doing that, you don't put 100 contracts. So there's still 50 at $1. And if, let's say, there's 50 at $1 and there's 30 on the ask, okay? That tells me that there's more buyers and sellers, okay? Why take out the bid and cut off your nose to spite your face? That's stuffing the bid. When I get into options like that, I'll leave an option trade when that happens, because I get like absolutely insane over it. And it happened today on US Steel. It happened today on US Steel, and I wanted to punch every person hitting the bid in US Steel today. That's what stuffing the bid is. All right? It's noobs. It's like a camper move on like Call of Duty. All right? It's like the guy that just sits there and like hate it. All right. Chef Daddy, you're right. Wolf does get furious on dummies. All right, guys. We liking this so far? I'm going to do a preemptive. Ready? I'm going to do a preemptive smash that like button. Because Mike's not here, guys. I feel really bad for him. Did you guys hear him today? He was like, I got the black lung pop. So smash that like button for Mike so that we, you know, can make some money and cure him of his black lung, you know. So, I know he's not watching this, so I can say whatever I want. It's funny because I can see Adam in like a little window right here. Right here. Hi, Adam. Hi. He's like, why are you talking to me? Why are you talking to me? Come on, Adam. Give me a smile. Give me a smile, buddy. Guys, how do you like Adam's beard? Can somebody ask me a question about Adam's beard? What's going on there? He looks so grizzly. Like he could be in those like World's Strongest Man, like, or like throwing like a log 50 feet. That'd be awesome. I don't think Adam's listening. I'm trying to get his attention, guys. It's not working. Oh, thank you. Hey, Zeus. Thanks for calling me a legend. Can I get that in writing, and can you show my wife? Because I don't think that she believes you. It's a stress beard. Okay, let's get back to questions. All right. Let's do some rapid fire. All right. I'll say yay or nay. Do you like this stock? No. Arc Lady boss bought Fastly. Grizzly Adams did have a beard. CGC. Guys, CGC, guys, here's the thing. All right, ready? All right, pause. CGC. Canadian cannabis companies are just trades, okay? But that doesn't mean that going into this election, they won't move, or post-election, okay? Arizona, New Jersey are the two most important states because they're going recreational, all right? Pretty much a shoo-in from what I heard today, even Arizona. So, and I know that has nothing to do with Canada. Canada is completely screwed up. Trust me, I hired a quantitative analyst back in the summer of 2019. So would you guys know or don't know, how many people in here follow me on Twitter? All right. I'm going to do the follow me on Twitter. But I just want to kind of get an understanding. All right, so that's me. So how many of you, okay, but how many of you, all right, I shouldn't ask how I do. I'm an idiot, guys. Let's be honest. How many of you just know me from just YouTube? All right, or just meeting me now for the first time? How about that? Okay. If this is your first time, let me know. I'm curious because, okay, maybe I'm just asking this wrong. Okay, how many of you, okay, ready? How many of you don't know who the I am? Perfect, right? Raise your hand. You could say, hey, Wolf, I think you're a douche. I have no idea who you are. Okay, perfect, perfect, good. You guys don't know who I am. Great. Okay, guys. So I am Jason Spatafora. Obviously, you see my name, Twitter, Wolf of Weed Street, right? That's what I'm known for. I'm known for weed, all right? I don't want you to think I'm like some jerk. So that's Jimmy Fallon. That's the Wolf of Weed Street, all right? So that's the Wolf of Weed Street. That's me, the shorter one. And the whole thing was how to get rich on pot stocks. I've also been in Penthouse, all right? I am telling you, okay, as the person that has called every pop and drop in this sector since 2014, you have got to treat Canada as a trade, okay? Treat Canada as a trade, please, for the love of God, all right? The other guy was Tim Sykes, who weaseled his way into my article that was about me, and we hate that. I hate that guy. I hope he gets warts in his butthole. So yeah, I've also been in Penthouse, but I'm not going to show you that one because, you know. So guys, yeah, treat Canada as a trade. Now, look, I am in CGC calls. Okay, I'm in CGC calls right now. I do think it's a good trade to 20. The same way, guys, where if you were here yesterday, I said, hey, the trade for me, I'm like, you know, Roku to 220, easy. All right. Well, it hit 226 today. I also said SPY to 341. It hit 341 and then just went, you know, but all those were good things that I wanted to see, right? So, man, it's always easy. Yeah, we're going to talk about Microsoft. Trust me, I'm getting there. Mr. Roboto, what's my profit target on those YOLO calls? It's going to be over $1 on those YOLO calls to start. So I'll take my first profit at $1 on those YOLO calls. My thoughts on Snap. I don't know why Snapchat is up so much. Yeah, that's it. I'm not a real big fan of Snapchat. I see a question. Can Trader, what do you think of Hemp Fusion IPO still? Yeah, it seems like they're going to do an IPO. Hemp Fusion. I actually have a bunch of products. No, you can't. It's this one. This one, right? Hold on. Right there. Those are actually Hemp Fusion products. They're doing an IPO in November. I don't know. I hope it goes well. I'm in it from an early round, but I have no real expectations. But we'll see. Why doesn't finance media ever talk MSOs? Because most people can't buy MSOs, right? A lot of people can't buy the companies that are trading on the OTC or trading on the CSC, sadly. Now, they've been on like CNBC. Tim Seymour does a really good job of like trying to get it out there that the money is really in the MSOs, not the Canadian companies. But you also have a lot of people on CNBC that just don't know what the hell they're talking about. Just complete idiots. I saw an interview with the CEO of Aurora, and this was like, I don't know, a month ago. And it was like noon. I don't know what the girl's name is. And I swear to God, I felt like my head just exploding when she's like, "Oh, how do you think that you guys are going to benefit from this election with Arizona and New Jersey or whatever?" I'm like, yo, they're a fucking Canadian company. Can I curse? I'm cursing. Whatever. I don't see Adam. Get the curse jar. So yeah, that's what's up. So yeah, it's just people don't know shit about it, honestly. Would you be able to explain options trading and why you prefer it? I don't necessarily prefer options trading. I use options trading. It's a means to an end. I see a lot of patterns and channels, when I am trading. Okay, if I'm trading Roku, if I'm trading U.S. Steel, and rather than like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, say I think U.S. Steel is going to make a 50-cent move. Okay, let's just take that for argument's sake. If I think U.S. Steel is going to make a 50-cent move, similar to what it did today, all right, what is the best way for me to capitalize off of a 50-cent move? Now, I could buy 10,000 shares, okay? That'll cost me $95,000, all right? So I'm spending $95,000 to make 5,000. Okay, that's one way of looking at it. Do I want to just use $95,000 to do it? No. Or I can buy $10,000 worth of call options 3 weeks out, and get all of that upside move. All right. So I could have bought contracts today on the U.S. Steel $10 call. I think they went as low as 50 cents. I could have bought them at 50, let's just say, and sold them at 85. I would have made 35 cents. Okay, risking $10,000. Now, if I sold 200 contracts at 85 cents, I would have made $6,500 worth of profit. If I had bought $95,000 worth of stock, I wouldn't have made that much. Do you know how much I would have made? Come on, you got this. 3,500. Okay. Options give you leverage because those 200 contracts of U.S. Steel represented 20,000 shares. Now, am I going to buy 20,000 shares of U.S. Steel I mean, I do, but I'm not going to buy them for a trade right now. Doesn't make sense. You know, it's similar to this. You guys remember when Roku was $106 and we had those $110 calls? $110 calls from $2, they went to $20 that day. Okay. It would have taken, so if you bought 100 contracts of those, you'd have made $206,000. Okay. $206,000 that day. If you wanted to do that with stock, you'd have had to buy $1,060,000 worth of Roku stock to make that same $200,000, where all you had to do is buy $20,000 worth of Roku options to make that same $200,000. That is why options are amazing. Okay? I think that's a better explanation than the one that I gave you before. Hit that like button. Smash that like button if you like that. That makes sense? Options are amazing because we followed that trade. I think it was like every single week for the next 3 weeks after that, because I was trading Roku. And if you follow me on Twitter, you know that you'll see tweets like, you know, somebody call an ambulance because I just murdered Roku. Like the amount of money I left on the table that month on Roku is disgusting. Just left on the table, and it's comical, just absolutely comical. So, you know, options are great. You know, you can have a big trade and you make 70 grand on a Roku trade, and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And you should be happy, right? And then the next day it goes up another 20 bucks and you're like, shit, I left $300,000 on the table. Oops. You know, that's options. You know, if you have a strategy with options where you're just trying to take little nibbles, okay, and your whole thing is to build up your portfolio, and that's my strategy. All of a sudden, you're going to hit these home runs, and they're not even going to be home runs. They're going to be like grand slam, like out of the park, and you're not even going to be ready for them. You know, we did it on, I mean, we've done it on Roku a lot. I think the last time we did it on Roku was, I think I got 160 calls, and then it got upgraded and it shot up it was like the option went from $2 to $17 overnight. And that was like, I'll buy a few contracts for shits and giggles, you know? Yeah, and US Steel today. I mean, guys, you know, I had a whole month where, you know, so when I first started trading options, I was trading options the way I was trading stock, which is a huge mistake. And like a lot of you, like especially if you picked up trading options in March or April, you know, you probably picked up a lot of bad habits that you shouldn't have. All right. So what are some of the bad habits? Buying really out of the money options. Okay. So anyway, I was trading options now for like 4 or 5 months, and I found US Steel, and I quickly discovered a pattern, and I kept it all to myself. And for that entire month, every single day I was trading massive size on US Steel options. And that month came and went. I made like $330,000 realized gains. Okay. And I was like so sure of myself with this pattern that the day that the pattern broke, I was like, holy shit, this thing went red 2 days in a row. Now is my chance. I bought 5,000 call options, and this was a Friday. And there was supposed to be a meeting specific to steel and the trade war. And I our administration skipped it, and steel, which had never dropped more than like 50 cents the entire time I've been trading it at this point, dropped $1.70, and my call options just went poof. So yeah, it was quickly from there. And I lost 250 grand. It's a moral of the story. You know, it's better to take these to not try and like in a trade. That's just silly. That's stupid. So I always tell people, I was like, look, I've done stupid shit with call options or put options early on when I was learning. So you don't have to. That's not even that, you know, and that happens. Like, I'm glad it did happen because after that I had established rules. But to give you an idea, I was trading with a portfolio where I just sold all of my cannabis stocks at the high in 2018. And now this is a portfolio I basically put together since 2014. And so I was just like trading options the way I trade stocks. And everybody, you know, Mike has the Reuben story. I've got the gardening spy story, if you guys want to hear it, because we got a couple minutes before I can move on to something. So smash that like button if you want to hear this story, because it's actually hilarious, especially if you don't like me. Okay. So I'm gonna set the mood for you. It was the first day that Jerome Powell was speaking. Okay. He was speaking to the market, and it was like, is he going to be dovish or is he going to be hawkish? All right. So I'm trading the SPY, and so Powell comes out, or like, you know, some of the notes come out, and first move is always the wrong move. You know, that was like option speak that I would hear. And all of a sudden the market just drops. And I'm like, silly, buying calls. And because I'm like playing like an idiot, I buy a lot. And I'm down 10 grand in like seriously a minute. Like that quick. And I have a big position. So, you know, I forget how many contracts I had. I had to have like over 100 at that point. And I go down like 10 grand. And I was like, shit. Okay. What am I going to do? So now I'm starting to think of it the way I trade stock, right? And I was like, all right, I'm going to put the most ridiculous bid in. All right. And if I get filled, I'm just going to have my finger ready to market order out. And I'm just going to try and catch like a 10-cent move. Okay. You guys with me? So like, I'm just trying to catch a 10-cent move, whatever. But as soon as I hit that and I get filled, I'm out. You know, I'm like ready to get out. So I set this ridiculous bid, and it was lower than where it was, obviously, because I was like, I need a little bit of time. And all of a sudden, guess what? I'm right. All of a sudden, I'm down 8,000, then 7, then 6, then 5. Then all of a sudden, I'm green. And I'm like, you're the best, man. I'm like myself, you know? So all of a sudden, I go up 10 grand, and I'm like, I'm out. And I'm market order out because it's the SPY. And if you guys know me, like I trade from my backyard. So it's not, I didn't slam my laptop, but I slammed the proverbial laptop, which is basically like shutting down my my trading app. And I was like, shit, I got some stuff to do. All right. And I was like, I gotta put mulch down. I bought like all this mulch because, you know, in the community I live, they're real dickheads, and everybody's house has to be like, you know, Pleasantville, like Leave It to Beaverland. So they're like, you need more mulch. So I was like, all right, fine. So I'm like, it was like noon, putting down mulch. I'm getting all sweaty because I'm in Florida. And I'm like, not even looking at the market, put down all this mulch, call my wife. I'm like, she's like, oh, what are you doing? You're not trading? I'm like, oh, I fucking killed it today. Killed it. I'm done. I'm like, I'm putting down mulch. I was like, putting down mulch, gonna jump in the pool. Just a really easy day. So she's like, oh, great. You know, so happy. You know, you need to relax. You know, she gives me that whole speech. And grab my phone after I jump in the pool, get some of that mulch off me. And I was like, Jesus. I was like, what happened to the SPY? I was like, this thing is getting destroyed. And I was like, maybe I'll buy some calls, right? So I go and I open up my phone and I was like, I forgot to pull my bid. So I lost 90 grand on mulch. And that's my SPY story. So yeah. Also a reminder, remember to pull your bids. So yeah. That and US Steel, I needed a lot of rules put in place. You know, after the whole US Steel thing, I was just like, I can't trade from a big account anymore. So then I had to I opened another account and just funded it. So yeah, I actually, you know, I liked that SPY story. I thought it was hilarious at the time. So yeah, and the mulch, you know, I had to put more mulch down. Like that stuff loses its color. So it was very expensive. Next time, hire a long guy. Yeah, Noah. Noah. So we have somebody. They're following us from. It looks like. What is that? Periscope. When is MSOs getting options? There he is. The fudging mulch. So yeah. Oh, what are your rules? That's actually a good question. Do you guys want my rules? Okay, so this is, I think, really important. And this is something that I teach a lot of especially the new traders that come into True Trading Group. And I'm going to go against protocol right now. I'm just going to put this up because why not? Where are you, you bastard? Da, da, da. Okay. So what are my rules? All right. So I think I look at everything from a very simple point of view. Okay. I'm a minimalist at heart, and I just think that small changes make big differences. Okay. I really mean that. But I also understand human psychology. I understand that we're all boys and girls, cowboys and cowgirls out there like pew pew, like I'm gonna win, I'm gonna shoot you, you know, or you know, if you want to put it into like ancient Greek terms, like, you know, everybody's Icarus, right? And we're all just trying to fly too close to the sun, and eventually our wings get melted off when that happens, and and we get destroyed. So the guardrails are really simple. Okay. One, I try and take profit twice a week. I do it on Monday. I do it on Thursday for different psychological purposes. when I do it on Monday, I look at it as like, okay, I got to be conservative today. I'm in the hole this amount of money. Thursday keeps me from doing stupid shit on Friday. The second thing is I take profit from trades and put them into stocks, especially if it's from an options trade, put them into stocks that I think are distressed right now. I don't buy call options past Wednesday unless my intention, for that week, unless my intention is to be out of them that day. If I think that I might have to hold them overnight, and I'm not buying them for this Friday, I'm buying them for the following Friday. Because if I get into a call option on a Friday, on a Wednesday, and then Thursday I get a gap down, I could get in big trouble. So yeah. But and those are the basics of just some of like the guidelines. Also, not to keep a couple $1 million in your account to trade options. All right. All right. So if you like that, smash that like button. All right. Cool. We all good? What is your favorite and most reliable pattern? Are you talking about like a chart? A chart pattern? Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a favorite. I watch level 2. I watch the tape. So I watch the actual trades come out and just get an understanding of my supports and resistance. When it comes to for my option trades, for my regular investing and swing trades, I base it off of like fundamentals, right? I'm not looking at a chart pattern. And like guys, like my long-term portfolio, I don't even look at it. I barely open it because I know what I have, and I'm not in any danger of losing money ever. So what do I think of X doing in the next few days, especially after the election? Look, we're in this X trade, and we've been in this X trade for the last couple of months, just printing money on it, based off of two things, right? Two hedges. One, that if the Democrats win, they're going to do some big infrastructure projects because that's their MO. It's been their MO since the Great Depression. Big infrastructure projects boost the middle class. Okay. On the flip side, it's something that the Republicans would have to inevitably do. So infrastructure was always in the cards. With Democrats, it probably expedites the situation just a little bit more. All right. So post-election, look, before we had the trade war and the tariffs, U.S. Steel was a $37 company. It's also one of the oldest companies on the stock market. Steel's been hammered. So, there's a trade there. That's it. It's that simple. Labor unions love to hear that. Well, it's true. Oh, good. You're loving Markets, Mobs, and Mayhem. I just got a book on tape last night because I couldn't sleep. And I read it. I've already read the book twice, and now I'm listening to it. It's called Ugly Americans. It's amazing. I love that book. It's by Ben Mesrick, if you're interested. He also did the book that became the the movie The Social Network, and 21, which is about the MIT blackjack team. Was FBC Wolfshot drink based on me? Yeah, it was. Omar, it was. I think I have a Wolfshot in here somewhere. That was a company we did a hostile takeover of. That's a long story. How come not more? That's a good question. How come more pot companies don't uplist to the NASDAQ like some of the MSOs? You can't, because they're federally, cannabis is federally illegal. The states have different rules, so they can get away with it. But once you're talking about going to a big board exchange, it's not going to happen unless, we've got legal marijuana. So X is good to hold. Yeah, I hold it. I hold it. Add Harvest on the little drop. I added Harvest. Everybody in TTG added Harvest. Why? Well, can you guess? Because we destroyed that thing. We got in Harvest at 96 cents, sold it at 155, rebought it at 117, sold it at 130, and then just got out, got back in at $1.12, took that to $1.44 to $1.50, got out, got back in at 154 and 143, and took it all the way to 190, got out. And, then they did a bought deal, which, market always poops themselves when those things come out. It ended up being an 8% premium at the time that the deal was struck. Market doesn't see it that way. They look at it as a discount. Even I looked at it as a discount. I might have just been, needling that thing for a dip. We got the dip, got plenty of insurance on it. I ended up doubling my position, because I've just got so much insurance. That answer your question? Some of us are new and didn't get to trade from the beginning. Look, I think that, a 10-cent drop on a stock shouldn't make you shit your pants. I'm just being honest. I think 10 to 15% drop from your position, then yeah, maybe rethink things. We are going into it with Harvest would pretty much have to go down to 50 cents for us to lose money. But, here's the thing. Harvest is at play because Arizona is in play for adult use. They have 15 locations right now in the state of Arizona. So I think that there's a really good trade going into the election. What do I mean about insurance? Okay. What I mean by insurance is, say I buy a stock at $1. All right. So I buy a stock at $1, and then I buy a stock at $1, and then I sell it at $1.50, and then I rebuy it at $1. Okay, how much insurance do I have? Simple. I have 50 cents of insurance. Okay, that's what I mean by insurance. Meaning it would have to go back to 50 cents for me to lose money. Simple enough to understand, right? So yeah. So all right, guys. That's gonna conclude the Q&A. I'm gonna say smash that like button. I'm just gonna leave this here. Smash that like button one more time if you enjoyed this Q&A. And now we'll do a little bit of a roll call for everybody here. Oh no. Actually, no, we still have to get into Microsoft, AMD, and pot stocks. All right. Well, let's just kind of keep it onto let's keep it onto the pot stocks, right? Because no, don't worry, buddy. We got a little bit more time. Guys, that's Noah Hammond. He's a really good guy. He is one of the brain trust that has YOLO and MSOS ETF. Let's talk about MSOS. So for some of you that can't buy MSOS right now, which is the only means of getting exposure to these the MSOs, to the multi-state operators, your only real choice right now is to buy MSOS. Sorry, it's just reading the text. Again, you can't buy them on Robinhood, you can't buy them on Webull, you can't buy them on Merrill Lynch. Only places you can buy OTC stocks are E-Trade, TD, some of the other ones. But some of you have Robinhood, you can't go and buy a True Leaf, you can't go and buy Green Thumb. So, how do you get exposure? You get exposure by, an ETF, right? An ETF like MSOS, which has Green Thumb, Curaleaf, True Leaf as a top 3 positions. All right, so there you go. No, there's a little plug for you, but I do think that thing would be a lot sexier if it had options. I mean, you guys with me? So maybe you guys got to talk to Susquehanna or whoever it is. So yeah, let's talk about pod stocks because look, we're going into we got 6 days till the election, and we got 6 more trading days until the election. All right, is it 6? Yeah, something like that, or 5. Now, some of you are like, well, what if the Republicans win? What if the Democrats lose? Guys, I think it's kind of a non-issue. Here's why. Okay. If the Republicans win, okay, then so be it, right? Nothing changes. Nothing changes. If the Democrats win, the only thing that changes is the speed at which things happen. That's it. The things that really, look, if let's go back to 2016. Republicans won the Senate. Republicans won the White House. What did marijuana do? Straight up, 2016 to 2018. Boom. Straight up. That's what happened. So don't worry about it, from that perspective, because the only thing that really matters is the legislation that is coming out of the individual states. So now we've got Montana, North Dakota, New Jersey, and Arizona, and Mississippi, but Mississippi doesn't really matter. It's for medical. If it passes, great. If not, I think it could pass. We've seen more conservative states pass things, but Arizona and New Jersey are really the things that matter the most. Okay. So yeah. And that is a good point. Yeah. Republicans, trust me. Look, I'm a Republican. Republicans want it legalized too. It's a lot of money, in taxes. It's a job creator. And quite frankly, we need all the job creation we can get. I think I talked about it yesterday about the pace, how marijuana jobs are outpacing various different sectors of the workforce, from like manufacturing to computer programming. So, that's the way you need to look at it. Now, some of the questions that I get are, how's Canopy going to do? How's Tilray going to do? How's Afria going to do, with this election? And I'm like, they have nothing to do with the United States, but a rising tide lifts all ships. So those things are always going to be they're always going to be more liquid than the companies in Canada, even though the companies in Canada are always going to be more liquid than the companies in the United States because they are traded on bigger exchanges. If these companies that, like the top three, which are like Trulieve, Green Thumb, and Curaleaf, were trading on the NASDAQ, they'd have silly volume. Their prices would probably be a lot higher as well, just because of, honestly, it's a more sophisticated investor coming from those areas, right? So yeah, smash that like button. But yeah, so if you guys want to ask me about individual stocks, shoot. Okay, so I see CMPS. CMPS is a psychedelic. Now, it's not a. Let me change that. CMPS is not a psychedelic company. All right, it's a biotech company that is studying and things compass pathways. So it's got a focus on psilocybin. All right, and I don't know what their pipeline looks like, but there is, there's, and I said this before, there's always been a lot of peer-reviewed stuff on psychedelics and MDMA for, having positive impact on PTSD or depression. So yeah. I don't know what SRRK is, and we're not on that subject, so sorry. CEO and CWX. I don't even know what CWX is. Let's take a look. All right. Okay. Ooh, this is a good question. Are you selling MSOs before holding through the election? I forgot this isn't really much of a Q&A, but I'm doing Q&A anyway, right? I'll tell you what happened in the last election, okay? Last election, we got to pull back after the election. After the, people saw that their states won, we got a little bit of a pop, and then we got a little bit of a drop. And that's fine. You're going to have a faction or, maybe a big cross-section that sells the news. I'm all for it, okay? I will even do it with you, all right? I think that it's wise to maybe take a little bit off the table. I'm not saying dump your whole position. I'm just saying hold a core, trade a core. That's my strategy. Now, what you want to do, that's your strategy, right? You might think that, hey, Wolf, you're an idiot. Why would you sell when things are just going to get better? Okay, well, because it takes more time for things to get better, and people are impatient, and they want instant gratification. And when they don't get that instant gratification, when everything just goes up 50%, they're like, what the hell, what was I doing? And they do stupid shit. So, I just look at it as, hey, I can trade a piece of my position. If it keeps going up, great. If it goes down, well, I'm just going to use that money to buy the dip anyway, right? Because, I look at this as a longer term hold. And then right after the election, we're going to be going into like earnings for a bunch of these pot stocks. Like Curaleaf is, I want to say November 11th or November 22nd or some shit like that. I don't know. So yeah, that's what's up. All right. But, again, cannabis is just improving. It's just getting better and better and better. All right. So, we're going to talk a little bit about Microsoft and AMD. So, we went over this a little bit before, but I just thought that it was important to talk about, right? So important from the sense of, now we've got two earnings back to back for Microsoft that they had beats and then they just got kicked in the nuts. Now, I did see that their guidance was down, but this is one where, guys, sometimes the market is just going to be the market, right? What I mean by that is, and we talked about it yesterday, right? I mean, Jason Simmons pulled it up and was like, oh, accumulation line is up, right? I thought that maybe the accumulation line would be down, on the assumption that we were going to get a sell the news event. Because, and so then when he was like, oh no, accumulation line is going up, I was just like, oh, when I saw this, it didn't really make sense. So I think maybe what you're seeing here is just rotation, right? Okay, it's like if you're in the stock, then you say to yourself, well, I'll stick around if they say something that makes me want to stick around. If not, I'm just going to take my ball and go home and, maybe rotate into something else. And that very much could have been what happened, right? AMD, on the other hand, I thought it was really, finally, so the rumor was about, I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it like Xilinx or something? So they acquired one of the competitors for $35 billion. Okay. Long run, I think that this is really good for them. Short run, nothing's really going to change with AMD. If anything, look at it as an opportunity to buy. Microsoft, I wouldn't, I'm not a buyer of Microsoft anywhere in the 200s. I think that there's still meat on the bone for AMD. I think maybe, Microsoft just maybe isn't as sexy as some of those other ones, those high flyers. Apple's really not even that sexy. So that's really what, we're talking about then, right? It's like, okay, well, what happens with Apple? What happens with Amazon? And the thing that I want you guys to understand is take what's happening now from these tech companies that go first, and take note, it could be the exception, not the rule, but, just devise a plan, when you're trying to just think of probabilities and possibilities of what could be. You want to be in a situation that exactly what to do. I'm not going to play any of the tech earnings. I'm not going to play any of the options. It's too much of a coin flip. It's too much IV crush, especially if they don't hit. I don't see Apple going to $130. I just don't, I think that Apple goes to, 105 before it goes to 135. So, yeah, that's what I think about that. And then, guys, the thing that really matters right now is coronavirus, right? Which it's funny because all of a sudden now it matters again. Now all of a sudden the market's caring again. after months of not giving a shit. So numbers are going up. We're nowhere near rounding the corner. And this is definitely this has to be something that is going to need to be addressed. Obviously, it's not going to get addressed by the election, right? I think people have their heels dug in one side or the other, but eventually we are going to have to be the developed nation that we are and get a hold of it, hopefully. But as it stands, this comes with like the talks of stimulus isn't happening. I don't know if maybe you were asleep the last couple of days, but we are not getting a stimulus. We're not getting I'd be surprised if we got a stimulus in the month of November. Okay. Because the Senate is in recess till November 11th, I believe, or it's either November 11th or November 9th. So yeah. And that sucks. That really sucks because a lot of people really need that money. They need, some of those protections. But stimulus is not going to be the magic bullet. I don't think vaccine news or anything like that is going to matter either, because it's not, right? So what do? Right? Now, we're just going to be choppy. We're just going to be choppy into the election. We're going to be really choppy post-election. So this isn't a time to flip coins on options, okay? You've got to be just like a bank robber, right? You got your gun. Well, hopefully you don't use a gun, but you know what I mean? You got your stopwatch, and you know exactly how long you got till the cops come. You just want to get in, get out, grab a bag of money and leave. And you've got to treat the market like that every day and have a real respect for those days when you are profitable, because if Monday taught you anything, it's that it can turn on a dime. I mean, even today, this open looked great. Everything was, some of the things that I was in were like, oh, looking great, rebounding. And then it was like, so yeah, like, yeah, guys, there's no reason to get into politics here, especially with me. Is like we could, like, I don't want to talk politics. The only thing that I will say is, whatever your political disposition is, these people that maybe don't agree with you, or your friends and your family, they're your neighbors. It's like if you're on a sports, if let's say you're an athlete and you're on a team, there's going to be guys on your team that you don't like. Shit. There were a lot of guys on my lacrosse team in college that I hated. But when we played, I didn't hate them on the field. I just thought that they were dickheads, keep that respect, because at the end of the day, we all want the same things. We all want a good life. We all want to raise our kids in safe environments, and barbecues and all that good shit. So let's not forget about that. Oh no, I don't think Adam is watching. I'm actually just saying that because that's just the truth, right? Guys, I'm a Republican, right? I'm a Republican. You guys hate me? Come on, you can't hate me. I'm great. Nah, I'm a dick. It's okay to hate me. It's okay to hate me. You don't need to hate me. But if I give you a kernel, if You don't need to like me to agree with things quietly with that I say. If you're like, oh man, I really don't like that wolf guy, but he kind of makes sense there. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not inviting you over to come, like have a barbecue with me. You don't need to invite me to your house. Just respect. That's fine. Let's respect each other. If we each respected each other, the world would be just a much different place. Exactly. Don't care. Just make us money. So yeah, guys. So yeah, that's a little thing. So all right. We're gonna do a little bit of a roll call, and this is the portion where, you already see it. Hold on. Smash that like button. Smash it. Smash it. Smash it if you can't wait till this election is over. Okay? Smash it. Smash it. Okay? Smash it. Smash it if you like me. Smash it if you don't like me. Smash it if you just want to get smashed and not have to be wearing a mask or socially distancing while getting smashed. Smash. It's a metaphor. It's good luck. So smash it. So, okay, since now you guys are done smashing, I am going to ask all the non-TTG members in chat right now. Okay, non-TTG members, type in TTG. I want to see who you guys are. I want to see your face. Show us your face. You remember that Chappelle show? Show us your face. All right. So if you just happen to come in here and discover us, okay, wow. This is for non-TTG members. Okay, non-TTG. All right, great. I saw a couple of you TTG members, and I was like, hey, Bo, I know you're a TTG member. Come on. All right. So there we go. We got Clayton Bigsby is not. Yes, Noah, Alvin, Fernando, Ali, Betty. Man, this thing goes fast. Sanicki, KC. When in Rome, what is TTG? Perfect. Okay. All right. So now for you TTG3 members, all right. So for you TTG3 members, type in TTG3. All right. All right. So for people that are in like TTG3 trial members, type it in. All right. Noah, I know you're not a TTG trial member, but I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you, buddy. I'm going to get you in. All right. All right. All right. So first, I'm going to tell you what TTG3 is. All right. You guys have a keen idea of it. I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to make this so simple. All right. So what you get with TTG3, okay, this website right here, boop, 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 it's a 7-day trial. Okay. It's a 7-day trial where you get to listen to me. My beautiful voice. You already listened to my beautiful voice for, an hour and a half so far. But you get to listen to this beautiful voice as well as my musical stylings during the day, during market hours. You get to hear what I'm thinking, where I'm looking before I make the move, or, you know, if there's an area where I'm like, guys, there's a little bit of concern right here, all day. All right. But it's not just me. It's also Mike. It's also Michael Edward. It's also Chris Toner, Jay Downey, Jason Simmons, who was here yesterday. Jason Simmons actually does a great thing from 7:30 to like 9:15 called the Miami Colada Club, where basically he just breaks down all the charts, especially if you're a TCG3 member. And let's say, you know, all of you guys are holding positions in something, and you're holding bags somewhere, most likely. And he can give you, you know, just a quick high-level view of the stock that you're in. Really useful. All right. So with that, this TCG3 literally costs you $3. Okay, we have to charge something. That way we know, you know, who really wants to be there. But it's $3. It's not reoccurring. If you have a problem with the $3, I will send you $3. It's not even a cup of coffee, because I don't think you can find a $3 cup of coffee anywhere that's worth drinking. Okay, so it's actually better. All right, so with that, you get 3 courses. They're guaranteed to make you a better trader. All right. Again, and this goes back to what I was saying before, it's that small changes, small adjustments make all the difference. So we've actually wrote 3 courses specifically for some of you new people coming in. Just kind of get your feet wet. Obviously, you know, when you become a full member, we've got a ton of coursework. And everybody in here that is a TCG3 member, you know, I'm sure you'll they'll be telling you all about it, can attest to what I'm saying. And trust me, guys, I'm not the guy that's going to bullshit you on a live stream. I mean, neither are the other guys, but I ain't got no time for that. All right. So you get those 3 courses guaranteed to make you a better trader. 3 days in chat starting tomorrow morning. Okay. And what 3 better days in the lead up to next week can you think of, right? Or else we're going into, you know, ballot initiatives for pot stocks. We're going into probably the most consequential election in the last 100 years. And I'll say that. Okay. So you have also, you get 7 days access to our member dashboard, including our stock profiles tool with which is the ultimate due diligence companion to get all your information on filings, unlimited analyst ratings, and on any of the stocks for 7 days. Okay, it's a lot of things. You could also see, you know, we keep in there our trade history. So collectively, I don't know what the trade, actually I do. Hold on, I'm going to switch to this. Our trade history collectively is 77%. So we have a 77% win rate right now going on in TTG. You guys know what my win rate is in True Trading Group? Yeah, the members can tell you. All right. You know, look, TTG3 is just a way for some of you new people to test drive this. I mean, test drive it, right? You want to buy a Ferrari for, you know, 200K. You're going to want to drive it before you know, roll it out of the parking lot and then take $50,000 in depreciation like that. You know, you want to go golfing. Well, you're going to go to the driving range and hit a few balls, right? You're going to want to marry your wife. You're probably going to want to take her on a few dates, you know, steak dinners. Trading, you know, with a platform like ours is no different, right? There's a lot of information. There's, you know, there's a lot of frogs out there that are, you know, purporting or trying to tell you that they're doing the what we're doing. We're basically just saying, come in and try it and see if you like it, because we're pretty sure that you will. Okay. Our TTG members have a really good success rate, good success stories as well. On top of that, they're actually learning how to do this on their own, where they don't need us. And they don't need us for the trades, but they stay for the eyeballs, and they stay because, we're a really tight-knit group, if you could say that, for a group that's like, almost 3,000 strong at this point. And you might say, oh, well, I've got a 9-to-5 job. That's fine. A lot of our members have 9-to-5 jobs. And, when I started, I had a 9-to-5 job. And I was still able to do this. The problem was I was doing it by myself. So I was making a lot of stupid mistakes, where I could have kept a lot more money from the beginning. So, that's what I wanted to say. I wanted you guys to come in and, listen to me about pot stocks for the next couple of days, because if you're here for pot stocks, guys, there's nobody better to get into it. How much is it after the trial? It's $1,200 for the year, which is, again, like a cup of coffee. But you really do get so much stuff. I'm not going to go into it because I'm not pitching. Like, I just want trial. I just want you guys to come in and check it out. Like, I'm not the guy that's going to be like, hey, come and do this right now. Like, time's closing. But we offer a lot. I mean, I did a little tutorial last week on pot stocks to just kind of get everybody ready for the previous week and this week going into the election. I've done stuff on options, just videos. We have courses. We make you take tests. We give you badges. People, if you pass all the courses, you get a green check. It's a really amazing program. It's like the Netflix of trading, and we don't upcharge you for anything. So, how long have I been trading? I've been trading, since 2013. I had a completely different job, very high stress job, but I took to trading like a duck takes to water. And I invested like $10,000 total in 2013, and I've been living off of that $10,000 ever since. Yeah. And I bought my house with pot stocks, cash, with one trade. So trading, it's been good to me. So yeah. So yeah, guys. So smash that like button. I'm going to call it a night. Sign up for a TTG3. It's really going to be worth it, especially going into this week. I mean, really, the only thing you have to lose is, I don't really think that you're losing $3. I would charge you like $50 to come in for a week. But, Adam's very cheap, or not very cheap, very generous. He's definitely not cheap because he's giving you guys laptops every Friday. Yes, we give away laptops and, some other things that we'll get into. So, all right, guys. So have a good night. Smash that like button, and I will see you guys all in the morning. All right. Goodbye.